You're watching the 5 o'clock news.
Racism now officially a public health crisis in New York City. The Board of Health passing a landmark resolution recognizing the inequities that have been magnified during the pandemic as the virus has disproportionately affected black and brown communities. Chris Welch has more on the declaration and the change it could lead to.
Why do some non-white populations develop severe disease and die from COVID-19 at higher rates than whites?
That's the city's health commissioner, Dr. Dave Choksi, posing a question with a nuanced answer. Yes, underlying health conditions play a role, he says, but it begs a follow-up. Why are there higher rates of hypertension, diabetes, and obesity in communities of color?
The answer does not lie in biology. Structural and environmental factors such as disinvestment, discrimination, and disinformation underlie a greater burden of these diseases in communities of color.
Racism is harming the health of Black and brown New Yorkers due to persistent systemic and intergenerational systems of oppression.
And now the city's Board of Health saying no longer should these widespread inequities be allowed to persist. And it has announced a resolution officially declaring racism as a public health crisis.
First of all, it's a wake-up call.
Dean of the CUNY Grad School of Public Health, Dr. Ayman El-Mohandes, says the city's move raises awareness first and foremost.
Health of individuals and populations is impacted by life circumstances that surround them and opportunities that they have. We blame people for not going to the doctor, for example. And that is really unfair when people have other life priorities and lack of opportunity, either financial, transportation, or otherwise, to see a doctor, especially if it's not for an illness, but for preventive care.
El-Mohandes says this resolution means fixing the problem is now seen as a priority, and he hopes it also means changes to health policies and programs.
Before I die, I want to see the needle move on health disparities in this country. And I'd like to see an awareness from young people like yourself who embrace that issue and contribute towards changing it.
Chris Welch, Fox 5 News.